There's no golden rule book on how to make VR titles, and I think that's one of the things that really excites us.
You have to rethink the way of creating games for VR. We are pioneers in learning what to do and how to solve new problems.
For the development of Arizona Sunshine, we teamed up with Intel.
So they gave us a lot more processing power to add stuff into the game to make it more awesome.
We really wanted to set the bar that we're going to do a AAA VR game.
When we set out to build Arizona Sunshine, what we wanted to do was make a badass experience for the player.
Instead of seeing your character, your protagonist, playing the story, you are actually in the story. And that's a really powerful feeling.
Vertigo was started in 2008. We got into VR and had the opportunity to build a game on Vive called World of Diving. And because of that, we were approached by Valve in late 2014 to be part of this first group of companies that got access to the Vive hardware.
Yeah, we were blown away by the first demos we had of VR. Yeah, we just wanted to build stuff for it.
So we started doing some demos, some prototypes.
Having the actual controllers in hand, we started with like, hey, just give the guy 2 guns and just start shooting at objects, at zombies. And it just felt so natural that sort of like, hey, we have to do something with this.
Shooting in VR is really fun, and we needed something to shoot at. We need some dummies. We don't want to go far into AI and all that kind of stuff, so we just made zombies.
We wanted to make it so that the player is like alone in this scenario, or has been alone for a long time. In the beginning of the game, he finally finds a small radio which plays a message, and this sends him off onto an adventure to trace it down and find if there's other humans still on the planet.
So we're trying to touch on some emotions for the player in Arizona.
We want the player to feel not safe, but in control.
We push the player a bit, so it's a bit scary or too scary sometimes, and then we take it back again.
The game will feature a full campaign, which is about 4 or 5 hours, which you can play single player or multiplayer, co-op. Next to that, there's the Horde mode multiplayer, where you can team up with 4 players. Defend the base against waves of zombies.
We're trying to deliver an experience or a feeling to the player, so we're not completely focused on realism, but more on a consistent playstyle, a consistent art style, consistent world where you're in, and whatever you do reacts in a way that you should expect it to react.
The detail for the weapons in Arizona Sunshine are very important. It's one of the basic things of the game, of course. So we really wanted to make it look fantastic when you're holding them up close.
We didn't tune down on the graphics just because it's VR. No, we are making what we want to make, and we make sure it runs in VR.
For Arizona Sunshine, high quality graphics are indeed very important.
Initially, we optimized and created the game for i5 processors. That's the recommended spec that everyone is using for VR. Then we got the partnership with Intel, and we actually were able to push the limits towards i7 quality processors to let our visions come to life. So we mainly focused on getting 90 FPS on the i5, and then it's optimized for i7 with all the extra effects. We can put more processing power to work on whatever you're seeing at that moment, right? So we put more detail on the zombies, now you can interact with the zombies, so thinking about the mutilation or the world destruction around that.
Talking with the Intel guys, we came up with a list of different physics, zombie mutilation, where you can shoot off parts of the head. And that's the kind of stuff that we, together with Intel, focused on to make that work in Arizona Sunshine.
The ability to add these effects to the game really adds to the immersiveness and the realism of the experience.
The opportunities that you have in VR versus normal games or console games is that, the fact that you can walk around, have the room scale thing there, that you can pick up stuff.
Vive is an ideal platform for Arizona Sunshine because the room scale and the freedom of movement you have, it really gives you the presence in the game. You are able to grab stuff, fire weapons, look around, step around. It's the perfect combination of you feeling you're really there.
And I think the fact that you can crouch down, pick up pieces and cover behind cars, stuff like that, that's sort of like gives this extra dimension to the game that's never been seen before.
Way back in the early days of development of Arizona, we did a multiplayer demo, the multiplayer prototype, to see how that would work. We thought it could be fun to see each other in VR, and it ended up being really awesome.
Adding the co-op possibility to single player was very natural and seemed like a great fit.
seeing the other person on screen, and just seeing the head movement, the hand movement, it's sort of like it's something completely different. It's just another like whoa effect. Just playing it together with this other guy that's maybe the house next to you on the other side of the world. I think that the social aspect there is very, very strong for VR. The game does feature zombies and it's kind of scared at moments, but it's also a full experience which can be played for people who just like Vive games.
Whenever somebody takes off the headset after playing Arizona, I want them to smile for two reasons. First is that they really like the experience and that they want to play it again. And the second thing is that they're happy they're in a safe environment again, right? I want to play a bit with the feelings and the emotions that you can really elevate in VR.
I hope they really have felt as if they were in some kind of zombie apocalypse.
After taking the headset off and played the full campaign, I just want to have people like their mind blown, like wow, this is like a full experience in VR.
We really can't wait to show the world what we've been working on the last 12 months. It's just fucking awesome.